Okay, so we are going to look today. This is week 4 of our lesson on how to study the Bible. And we took a couple weeks there. James did an excellent class on story. And then Kali did a lesson on inferences. And so we kind of took a little detour from our how to study the Bible book, even though we were on the same topic. But now we're going to come back to the book, The Joy of Discovery. We have done one style from this book on how to study a passage, and that was the who, what, when, where, why. And that's been like several weeks ago now. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
We studied the story of the cross in Luke. And so that was one skill that you can use for narratives, and especially. But now we're going to use another technique. And so you all have the handout, right? It's Matthew chapter 6, verse 25 through 34. And I've printed that out, and if you'll notice, I've printed it out very kind of central and spaced out. Like each phrase gets its own line, which is very useful because you have lots of room on the side, and you can just look at one phrase at a time and go through it. So I'm actually doing that with 1 John right now. I printed it because I don't like to write in my Bible. Some people like to. That's fine, but I'm too much of a perfectionist, and I don't want to touch my Bible. But I could mess around with a piece of paper all day, and then I can put the paper in my pocket and study. So it's very effective to do that, print it out. What we're going to do is we're going to look at, we're going to practice observations in this passage. And the first exercise we're going to do is we're going to break the passage into sections. And we're going to go through, read a section, like a verse or two, and look for keywords. And we're just going to do this quickly because we're going to go back through it again. So the sections are going to be verse 25 is one section, and then 26 through 27 is another section, 28 through 30 is another section, and then 31 through 34. And as we go through it, you guys are going to shout out keywords, and I'll write them down. Just very quickly, okay? You guys get the idea? We're just looking for keywords right now. So I'll go ahead and start, and I'll read the first section. And while I do it, you guys keep an eye out for keywords, and when we're done, you'll shout out to me. So verse 25. Therefore I say to you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body, what you will put on. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing? Okay, so what do you guys think the keywords are? No right or wrong answer.
First one.
Keywords.
Therefore.
Therefore, okay. Good one. All right, what else?
Do not worry.
Do not worry. So just which would be the one key word? Worry. Okay. Awesome.
Life.
Life? Okay. Okay, what else? Is that it? Is that all you guys think is key? It's okay if that's what you think.
Body.
Body? Okay.
Will.
Will? Okay. One more. If anyone has one more.
What?
What? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to stop you there. We could go through and eventually put all of them up there, but just, it's usually the ones that jump out at you first that are probably the keywords. Okay, so now, baby, can you read 26 through 27?
Look at the birds of the air, for they neither sow nor reap nor gather to barns, yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they? Which of you by worrying can add 1 cubit to his stature?
Okay, what do you guys think? What are the keywords?
More.
More? Okay.
Value.
Value? Good one.
Is Heavenly Father one word there, or, because heavenly is like an adverb to the Father.
Yeah, yeah.
The Father.
Father?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's a good idea. Okay.
Bird,
Fourth?
bird,
Oh, bird. Okay.
worry,
Worry.
Value.
We got value.
With the value. Let's see.
You're on to that. Worrying. How about look? What do you guys think of that? Look? Is that a good one? Hello. I'm gonna add that.
Look.
Okay. All right, I'll stop there. So again, we could go through and we could say all of them are keywords. Okay. Now the next section, what we're doing is we're just going through each one of these sections and listing the keywords in each section. So verses 28 through 30, who would like to read that? It's a longer one. 28 through 30, anybody? Mom, you want to read?
So why do you worry about clothing? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. And yet I say to you that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. Now, if God so clothed the grass of the field, which today is and tomorrow is thrown into the oven, will he not much more clothe you, of your faith?
Beautiful passage. And normally, well, if you were doing this at home, you could just write on the paper, but I'm doing it up here to give you guys, so we can do it together. Okay, so 28 through 30, in those three verses, what do you think are the key words?
Worry.
Worry, right? That seems to be a
The third time.
repetitive idea here, right? And as we go on a little bit, we'll start listing things like repetitions. Okay,
Consider.
consider, that's a good one. That's kind of, if you were to compare that to the previous section, what would be the word that lines up with consider, or that's similar?
Look.
Look, exactly, yeah. He's drawing your attention to something in nature. Okay, consider, what else?
Faith.
Faith, good one. Okay. What else? Again, as we're doing this,
Solomon.
Solomon, good one. Think that this is something that you could do at home with any passage. Solomon.
Solomon, glory.
Solomon, glory. Okay, one more, and then well, we got faith. Yeah, so they're all underlined.
Well, God actually is a key word here too.
God? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. That would probably be key, right? Clothe? Okay, clothe. And that, and we'll stop there. Clothe, good one. Okay. Now, verses 31 through 34. Somebody, nice, loud voice, want to read 31 through 34? You want to read? She's funny to you, Bella.
Looking at you. Therefore, do not worry, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or what shall we wear? For after all these things, the Gentiles seek. For you, Heavenly Father, knows that you need all these things. But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about its own things. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble.
Beautiful, right?
That's right.
Okay, so now 31 through 34. What do you think are the key words there?
Therefore,
Therefore again.
Therefore again, okay.
They conclude and
sick,
Seek, that's a good one.
worry,
Worry again. That's the stuff.
Sufficient.
Sufficient. Good one. Get my handwriting. Okay.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Father,
Father.
Righteousness.
Righteousness. Nice.
kingdom,
Kingdom, and then maybe one or two more.
Shall.
Shall.
Mhm.
Okay.
what,
What? Okay, I'll stop there. Okay. So, this is an exercise, it's easy to just, really a lot of these passages, it's just really trying to get you to slow down.
It's pretty much a repeat,
Chewy.
just a little modification.
Yeah, there's a lot of repeats here. But these exercises are meant to kind of, like they say, chew your food. Don't just bite and swallow. And that's how we do with the Bible sometimes, where we just read it too quickly and we don't really digest it. If you don't chew right, you're not going to properly digest. And so, this slows you down. It slows you down, chew over it a little bit, and what are the key points? So you can do this with any passage that you're reading, just, do something like this and underline or highlight what you think the key words are. Now what we're going to do, we've got a good amount, there's, I don't know, maybe 25 keywords there or something. I want you guys to go through and let's list the keywords for the whole thing. So we're going to narrow this down even more. So let's do maybe about 2 keywords for each section, and that's it, 1 or 2. And then we'll have that as our we're kind of narrowing it down just to see what's the main thing that's coming across. So of the ones we have here in verse 25, what would you think, what would be the 1 or 2 keywords that come out?
Worry.
Worry? All right.
Life.
And life, is that what you guys want to go with? Worry and life?
Why worry about your life?
Body, life,
I think body and life are similar somewhere.
similar?
Do life.
Well,
Okay.
Life, because life, if you don't have life, you don't have no body. The body is there.
It's kind of the same point, yeah, I think you're right,
It's
yeah.
a toss-up.
It's the same, yeah, you could go with either one, I guess. We'll just go with that, okay. So worry and life, that's pretty good, okay. 26 through 27.
Value,
value and look.
Father,
Value, what else, anybody?
value the Father, because he's our creator. If
Anybody
you don't
else?
value him, everything is worthless.
Okay, any other ideas? Anybody else have any other ideas?
Well, worry is there too.
Worry is there again,
Worry or look.
worrying or look. So we've got
Oh.
value, father, worrying, and look. It's a lot of different opinions. Let's
Okay,
see.
if you
James,
really
you want to be the
go- you
tiebreaker?
don't value
What do
Father.
you-
What were the 2?
So,
Worrying.
worrying, look, or father? What do you think?
Let's go with, how is this one? Worrying.
Worrying? Okay. It's fine with me. Again, no right or wrong answer. This is just what jumps out at you guys. Yeah. Okay. Verse 28 through 30.
Consider,
Yeah, I just.
Consider?
Consider too.
Consider
Faith.
faith.
Consider fate.
See, I'm waiting now because now you guys have, there's a lot of different opinions. I'm waiting before I start circling things.
worry,
We already agreed that
Worry.
that's such a repeat. If you
It
really
is.
have to have a small, how do you say,
A smaller list.
a small condensed state, you keep saying worry, worry, worry.
I think
No, worry life, value Father, consider fate, glory God. You have to
Yeah.
go in a sequence of.
No, I hear you. I think let's
Maybe.
skip worry now because we've got it a couple times. So yeah, I think it definitely is for this section it stands out, but if you go for the whole thing, we've
I
got
read the whole
worry.
book, and this is
Yeah.
basically what she wants.
Okay, so we've got worry. So what else?
Consider
Faith.
Consider is
Yeah.
one.
Faith.
fate.
Faith.
faith.
Okay, just
Yes.
consider and faith.
Yeah,
You want to go with that? Okay. Consider and faith. Alright, got strong opinions in our group. That's good. Okay, so 31 through 34.
Therefore sufficient.
Therefore, sufficient
Seek,
Righteousness.
righteousness. Got word in there again, but
seek and righteousness.
seek and righteousness.
Seek
You just
righteousness
kinda-
makes a couple.
You know,
And therefore sufficient makes a couple.
and a good way to think about this is if you were just to think of what is the main point of the passage, what are the one or two words that really make that main point? You know what I'm saying? You know, the passage is
I would go seek righteousness.
worrying about what you're gonna eat or drink versus, you know, God taking care of it. I mean, yeah, definitely you could argue for worry again, but we've already got it. So I've heard righteousness several times. I'm gonna
Mhm.
Yeah,
do that one. And
the
then
kingdom actually also.
kingdom,
Yeah,
I say seek.
that's what Jesus.
seek, kingdom.
Seek,
Okay, I got 2 votes for seek, so sequence.
There you go.
All right.
Knows, I think knows.
Knows?
God knows.
God knows. That is a good one too. Maybe we'll just
Where's that?
add that on the list here. Knows. Okay. You guys get the idea. No right or wrong answer. You know, when you do it on your own, you can go with the ones that you like. And so, but this is the point is, you know, just to see what is the main stuff that comes out from this passage. And again, we're just trying to slow you down so that you really think about what the passage is saying and spend more time on it than just reading through it quickly. Okay, so that's another exercise that you can look at. Now, does everyone have their books? You don't have to have your books for this because I wrote it up there, but if you look on page 20 of your books, you'll see on the bottom it says look for other
That's a
details.
baby share.
I will give detention to this guy.
Ooh, didn't bring his book.
Yeah.
Last detention.
Detention. You guys can sit, you guys can share this one. It's okay.
Here,
On the bottom.
On
You
the
see
bottom.
look for details?
Yeah.
So I wrote the list up here, so if you don't have it, it's okay. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to, as an example, because again, the point of this class is not to tell you what the Bible says, but to teach you the skills. So let's just do an example of one verse, and then you guys can do the rest, you know, whenever you want, just so that you see an illustration of how this works. We're going to go through this one verse, Matthew 6:25, and we're going to look for all of these things. So let's first define these things, these details. What is an admonition? Does anyone know what an admonition is?
Advice, kind of directive, you know.
Stand
Yes.
out, something that stands out,
Absolutely.
admonition. I give you this admonition to whatever.
counsel.
Counsel,
Admonish.
it's like admonish. Admonish is the group, yeah.
Like,
Directive, advice, I think those are good ways, synonyms.
Advice.
It's more than advice though.
It's
Yeah.
more of a comment, that's right. I
Exactly.
give you permission, I give you the
Directive,
admonition.
Yeah, it's, you're being told to do something.
Yes.
Do
Yeah.
this, yeah.
Go do this, yeah, okay.
that's admonition.
So you guys get the idea. So what you'll do, and this is why we printed this, the words are all in the center with a lots of room on the side. You can do this in your
Okay, I know
Bible
what to do.
if you're one of those people who like the Bible more. But you just write an A next to any time you see an admonition.
Okay.
So you would go through, for example, each verse and just see where are the admonitions, where are the stuff that God's saying, do this. And when you're done, you can actually just scan over the whole passage and be like, God's telling me this, this, and this, because the admonitions just stand out.
That's true.
That's kind of cool, right? Yeah. Okay. So the next one's obvious, questions. So the use of questions in the Bible. And it's interesting, Jesus, I don't remember exactly the number, but he used a lot of questions in the Gospels in the New Testament.
To answer questions also, he used questions.
Questions to answer questions.
Yeah.
And it's a very useful method of teaching. You know, and a lot of people think, oh, you're just asking a question, you want to answer. Well, sometimes it's you're trying to get the person to think. So notice the use of questions. And you write a question mark next to all of them, obviously. The next one is contrasts, comparisons and illustrations. So what do you think that means? What's a contrast?
Opposite.
Opposites,
The
right?
contrast, opposite,
To
yeah.
compare this opposite.
Comparing two things
A
and they're different.
comparison is you're comparing, the contrast is just the opposite.
Exactly. And then an illustration can actually,
It speaks for itself.
It could be one of the-
I illustrated, I showed you.
yeah, it could be one of the two of those things. It could either be and to illustrate a contrast or to illustrate a comparative. Okay. Key connectives, oh, and you would just write a C. And the way I like to do it, you can do it however you want, but let's say you have one line that makes one statement and then it's compared to something else in the next line. I like to write the C connecting the two, kind of, contrast, comparative. Okay. A key connective is also similar because it's the idea of connecting two thoughts. You guys get that? So it's pretty simple, just whatever connects, and just circle those. Or you can do things like, say for example, just to give you an example, verse 31, the first word, therefore,
It's connected.
that's connective to the previous thought.
You're connecting it to the previous.
Exactly.
Verse
Statement.
30.
And you could even do a circle the word and then draw a line to what it connects to,
Yeah.
if you want. Okay. Repetitions,
Same, over and over and over.
pretty simple, right? And what was our biggest repetition in the passage?
Therefore, very, 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 very.
Worry, right? Worry is probably, therefore too, but worry is the one that sticks out. So you just write an R next to every time you see worry, and every time it stands out, and you can go back through and say, wow, that was mentioned this many times, and it jumps out at you more. Emphatic statements, pretty simple.
Yes.
Exclamation point.
Correct.
Okay,
I'm very emphatic about that.
exactly. Okay, so now let's go through and let's see if we can find all these in Matthew 6:25. Just this one verse, just as an illustration of how to do it later for the rest. So what do you think? Where is an admonition? I'll go ahead and read it to you guys again. Therefore I say to you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body, what you will put on.
There's an admonition.
Do not worry.
Do not worry.
Do not worry, that's the admonition, absolutely. Okay. What else? Is there a question in here?
Yes. Oh,
What
Where is
should I drink?
well, actually, it's the next one. It's not like
I don't
more
see-
Oh, I stopped. Yeah, I didn't use the last phrase there. I'll put it down here. Here's our connector, right?
Oh, yeah, that's the question. Because I didn't see it there, but I see it now in the next question.
Yeah. Is not life more than food?
That's the question.
That's the question.
And the body more than clothing? Body more than
clothing.
clothing. Okay. That's the question. So, big giant question mark next to that. And Jesus is not asking a question because he doesn't know. It's a rhetorical statement to get you to
Yeah,
think
it's
about it, right?
rhetorical.
Obviously. Okay. Contrasts and comparisons and illustrations. Do you see any contrasts, any comparisons, or any illustrations?
Is it not that this question is also a contrast
Absolutely.
because you're comparing life to food and body to clothing?
Absolutely. Life and food and body and clothing. You're comparing those. There's your contrast.
And Q.
And Q. So there's two of them in one. Okay. Any others? That's probably it, huh?
Reputation of what you will drink, what you will put on.
Yeah. We'll get there in a second. But I was wondering if we had any other contrast, comparisons, or illustrations? No?
Oh, okay.
So let's go to the next one. Key connectives.
Hey, therefore.
Therefore,
Mhm.
but it's connecting to something that's outside of our passage.
Mhm.
That's okay. That tells you probably should read the context and what's before, right? Because Jesus is leading from another thought. Okay. Anything else? Any other connectives?
I think that's it.
Is that it? Okay. It's all the ones that jump out at me right now. And then repetitions. What repetition do you see?
What will you do? What will you do? What?
What will you?
What?
What will you?
What you will.
What you will.
Is
Yeah.
are.
3 times.
Yeah.
3 times, huh? What else? Any others? What about these 2? Do not worry about your life, nor about your body. Is that a repetition of an
Yes, it
idea?
is, because it's
Yeah.
two about, repeat.
I think so,
It,
right?
it connects.
You could also call it connected, yeah.
Connected because
Yeah. That's kind of a repetition of idea. And what, okay,
Different repetitions, but it's one same thing.
okay. What about emphatic statements? Is there any emphatic statements you see in here?
Is not life more than food and the body more than clothing?
I think that is
That's
pretty,
the question.
I think that is pretty emphatic.
Very
Yeah.
I bet you that, I bet you there was
That's the
some,
punchline.
there was probably some
Yeah.
emphasis in Jesus' voice
Yeah.
when he said that.
He quasi
You know?
said, don't you trust me?
It's kind of one of those things where it's like, it should be a no-brainer.
Yes. No,
But it's like,
it's like
but we miss that point sometimes.
sisters
Hello.
for the 6th graders to eat. Duh.
Yeah, that's what the 6th graders say, right? Duh. Okay. So we've gotten pretty much most of those things we found in this passage. So that gives you an idea. So you would go through the rest of it and try and find those things. And when you're done, you can kind of look over it and see the things like the repetitions and so forth. All right, so we have time for one other little exercise that you can do here. So this one is about, let's see if I can flip this guy over safely. Without hitting our screen. Want to make it all the way?
Yeah, you make it.
It's just kind of stiff.
Robin needs WD-40.
No, no, tight.
Yeah, maybe.
How about the other one, the other side?
There you go.
That's okay.
Good enough,
That's
huh?
good
Good
enough. That's good
enough.
enough. We can
Okay.
We can see it.
Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to
that's
practice
good.
asking questions. Practice questions. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys some sentence frames because my teacher wife has taught me the great value of sentence frames.
Oh man, we have that too.
Sentence frames or
Sentence
scaffolding. So if the idea is you give somebody, you know, you used them in school, it was like a sentence with some blanks in it.
Yeah. then
Right,
you
and you have the
just
kids
fill
fill in
it
the
in.
blanks, or you just give them a beginning. So what I'm gonna do is give you guys a beginning, and then you guys are gonna fill in the rest. Okay, there's a question. Why did Jesus say that you could, you know, about in this passage, right? Exactly, that's the idea. Here's another one. The meaning of, dot, dot, dot. You know, what's the meaning of whatever?
Of
What's
course.
the significance of, dot, dot, dot. What's the implication? What's the implication of some verse, something Jesus said, right? What's the relationship between, and these are just examples of questions. You guys can come up with your own. But this is just kind of to give you, if you can't think of any, this gives you a place to start where to ask questions. So what do you think? Is any of these jump out as something that you can complete for a full question about anything in this passage?
Why did Jesus say, do not worry?
Do not worry. Okay, that's a good one. Why did Jesus say, do not worry? And what do you guys think? Why do you think he said that?
Because people were worried.
That's human
You
nature.
know, That's a really basic, simple,
Can you do a worry?
yeah, right?
Yeah.
You ask the psychologist, he knows the answer.
There you go, there you go. You're not gonna tell people, don't worry, if there's not a worry problem.
Not to be anxious,
Yeah.
yeah?
That makes perfect sense. And you know what, he repeats it a lot, so it's probably a big problem that we have, right?
We worry a lot. It means we are doubtful
Yeah.
of his power, no
Absolutely,
faith.
absolutely.
That's why he said many times, oh faithless generation, how many times I will be with you?
Yeah,
Because we worry
absolutely,
a lot.
absolutely.
We pray and then after we pray, we still don't.
Yeah, yeah. So that's just an example. You guys can come up with other questions, and please, you're gonna take these papers home, write them on the side, other questions that you have. And here's the thing, we don't necessarily have to answer all these questions. And you don't necessarily have to answer all your questions too. Just sometimes it's just a way to get you to think and just kind of, again, slow down and look at the passage. Let's try maybe one more of these. You guys have one more that jumps out at you? Or any other question that you have about the passage? Anything?
I mean, you mean,
Meaning
Yeah,
of being
questions.
anxious, meaning of life.
Yeah.
I agree with her, it's just meaning of life.
Meaning of being anxious, meaning of life. Okay. Yeah. What does it mean to be anxious? So it's one thing to say we have a worry problem or anxiety problem, but what does it mean to be anxious? That's kind of, I think,
What are you being anxious for?
yeah, yeah. Okay. What
It's
is the
close
meaning
to
of life?
anxious is, it's almost a connection to worry. It's a borderline worry. I'm so anxious.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
think, oh God, I'm worried. But I'm anxious.
Yeah.
But I'm worried. Am I gonna make it? But I'm anxious. I wanna know, did I?
Yeah, it's a lot of, yeah, kind of, I get you. Okay.
To me, that I was thinking about what is the meaning of not worrying? I mean, and then he used examples about why not to worry. Birds, are fed.
He answers the questions, right?
Yeah, so it's like, we need to know what does it mean by that not to worry, and how do we not worry, basically?
Yes, yes. And he deals with our unspoken question, because obviously if he tells you don't worry, and you're thinking, well, easy to say, I've got all these things to worry about, and then he answers,
Yeah.
God knows that you need those things.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So some of these questions, there's obvious answers right in the text. There's going to be some of the questions that you can come up with that the answer is not maybe as obvious, maybe a deeper question or something obscure, right? So if you have your books, look at page 23, and that will give you some ideas on how to answer these questions. And again, it's not necessarily something that you have to answer all these questions, but these are some possible resources. So what are some of the examples they give for things that you can use? Answering questions. It kind of gives you some different ideas.
Oh.
Things like comparing translations, things like, look at Bible dictionaries, compare translations, look up the definition of words, and like, hey, what does this mean to be anxious? What is the Greek word for worry?
Oh, this is
That might
the,
shed some light on it, that kind of stuff.
in the book.
It's okay.
That's a good question. Yes, look at the Greek book.
Yeah. So these are just some examples of what you can do to answer these questions. Has this been a good exercise, you guys think? Okay. So
Very useful, actually.
ask questions, even if they're big questions that you don't think you can answer or find an answer to. It's okay to just ask questions, and hey, maybe it's something that'll wait for heaven, but at least it's getting you to think. And then the other stuff, go and look for the keywords. When you go through passages, look for keywords, and then go back through and trying to find these details. And you know what? These are just examples of details you could look for. You could probably find other ones as well.
What version do you use for this?
This is New King James.
Oh, because the King James and how it says, take no thought.
Ah, take no thought
Yeah.
instead of worry.
Yeah.
Interesting. take no thought. That's very interesting. Okay, so that pretty much concludes our lesson. Your assignment for the week, and it's, again, it's not, you're not gonna get graded. It's not a big deal if you, I'm not gonna be mad at you if you don't do it, but you'll get more out of it if you do. Is page 24, practice C. And do you have that in front of you?
There's no Bible teaching.
Page 24.
Personalized Bible teaching.
Personalized Bible teaching. So go through that little exercise there. That'll be your homework for next week. All right. Somebody want to volunteer and say a word of prayer for us?